All right, hey everyone. This is our final reflection video, reflecting on the other group's videos, basically what they said and like what we said. So, Sakai.
Oh yeah, so our original plans got canceled, but we were able to go back on Saturday to the expo, help move stuff around. We're able to kind of talk to some of the clients. And remember, Cronin, one of the ladies actually came over with one of the headsets and the little.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was like so this is an update on our community service that we were doing. We talked about last time, but yeah, it was weird. Like this lady came up and came up to me and Sakai. She was deaf. Or partially deaf, and gave us like a little belt to wear.
It kind of vibrates as the song played on with the bass and all that stuff. And I thought that was pretty cool.
It's supposed to be like for gamers that are deaf, so they can like feel the bass of the.
Imagine like playing Fortnite, feeling the bass of the gunshots and all that stuff.
Yeah, so that was cool, and like we helped them out doing that. So to finish our hours up. So that was an update for us, and I guess it leads to our first point that a lot of groups talked about, and that's the community service. So I guess we didn't know what a lot of the groups did, and watching these videos, it was kind of interesting to see like what they did and what like some didn't do, and just like the problems that everyone ran.
Everybody had problems, right?
Yeah, like I mean, the Ideas R Us like didn't even do community service. So, I mean, so it just shows like how everyone kind of runs into problems. And everyone like kind of deals with them differently.
Right. They talked about some of the problems they ran into.
Time schedule and stuff.
Mostly scheduling, which is something we talked about in our final vlog about how. Scheduling is tough, and even if you schedule something, a lot of times it doesn't work out, so you gotta be flexible. At least it's nice to know that a lot of other groups ran into the same issues we did.
Yeah, like the little Energizer bunnies, they were able to kind of distribute out the different clubs, based on their time conflicts and all that, and kind of like us.
Yeah.
Times that we couldn't meet, but we're able to kind of overcome all the conflicts and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the way that we were able to like manage meetings and stuff. Like we always met on time before the videos, like met for a community service. When at various points in the semester, me and Sakai were in season, Christian and Steve were in season. So I'm happy we did that, and I think that seeing the other groups run into problems and like kind of struggle with that makes me feel better about like the way we did it. So
definitely.
Yeah. So I guess the next thing we'll talk about is like the reading takeaways, and like a lot of the groups like kind of outlined like their favorite readings or just went one by one through all the readings. So I don't know. Let's talk about that. I know a common theme is like real life implications.
Yeah. One group that comes to mind was the Eagles. I guess when we were watching that video, they kind of went through and just rehashed a lot of the chapters and and like basically what they took away from it, and it was kind of cool. I mean, some of the members had some nice little personal anecdotes. I think one girl talked about how the book talks about an open door policy with managers, and she had talked about like through personal experience with her managers. It was like you can't, even if you know them well and have a good relationship, it's still hard to have a totally open door policy because there's still things you're going to be maybe afraid to talk to your boss about and stuff like that. So she kind of critiqued the book a little bit, which was kind of cool to see. Because that's not really something we did a whole lot. We didn't really have too many critiques of any of the readings or books, but this group did.
Just good to see things from a different perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It kind of seemed like a lot of groups focused on Carnegie. We had similar thoughts about the book. We feel that the book will definitely help us shape the way we have day-to-day interactions in the future. We also agree with a lot of the comments from Management Group 1. Overcoming bias. We too as a group took in a lot of the teachings and learned new things about ourselves. that we previously weren't aware of. And then also some groups touched on personal SWOT. It's always great to sit back and break down your individual attributes and find ways that you can just make yourself better, I guess.
Yeah, like which one of us talked about the SWOT? Didn't one of us? Yeah.
I did, yeah. And it was just good to see that, other people kind of took into perspective the same ways I have. And, yeah, I just thought the SWOT analysis was really good for all of us, not just me. Just good to kind of see where you're at and how you're going to end up or how you're planning on to end up. So, yeah.
Well,
evaluation.
One thing that was interesting that a group talked about was like the order of the books that she assigned were like important, and I had never really thought of that. Like if overcoming bias being the first thing that we read was like intentional as opposed to one of the later things we read, like
Blink.
Like Blink or something. Yeah. But now it kind of makes sense, like setting the stage and kind of building off each one. Yeah. I feel that like in the end you can kind of relate a lot of things back and connect each reading as they go along. Exactly. So I thought that was interesting that I think Ideas R Us brought it up, which was cool to think about, and like just something like reflecting off what they thought was important. It was really interesting.
Maybe it was specifically designed to be like that. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it definitely
is very interesting. Yeah.
So next, I guess we'll just say like overall takeaway from a lot of the groups. We talked about ours last time, but it was cool to see like what each group thought was a big thing. And I think one thing that we all noticed in our reflections and like all their reflections, whether they meant to or not, was technology and how it's a big thing that we thought this class like really honed in on is important, and especially in the evolving like business world and management world. So
yeah, like communication. Like I mean, there are at least 3 groups did all their vlogs through. I don't even know how to say. Like I guess like it's not even a chat room.
Like
it's like
FaceTime.
Yeah, it's almost like FaceTime. Which that's really convenient to be able to just like stay in the comfort of your home and get what you need done. At the same time, for us watching the videos, you can also run into complications with that in terms of like audio and stuff. And we didn't really do any of that, so we don't really know about that. But personally, we liked just getting out and like just getting together, and that seemed to work the best for us. But that's just another example.
I feel like it was more efficient when we got
right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we would have done well with that. Like doing that.
Technology only goes a long way. You got to have a perfect balance of actually like communicating in person as opposed to just using technology all the time. I mean, that's what I think, obviously.
But
everybody's different.
Some of those groups might have had like commuters or people that live far away. So I mean, you do what you do for the best for the circumstance you're in.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know when like we were watching some of the videos that like the audio was just kind of awful in a lot of them, and it's just kind of hard sometimes. And so that shows like one of the struggles of trying to do things from a technological point of view. So I mean, like we always do like kind of just like a quick sound check.
Yeah, those are always fun. Those are a highlight of every video.
Yeah, I'll probably put it in the one that we just did before this.
Yo, there's audio section.
Yep. All right, perfect. Yeah, I mean, I guess Steve was talking about like communication before, like as an overall thing that I think every group talked about, and it kind of goes along with technology, like just with like the importance of communication.
Oh yeah, man, communication is very important, but my voice. Technology can make just like group meetings a little bit easier, but as you guys have said, like the audio and just like other implications can like really hinder like the overall success of like whatever you're trying to accomplish. Like for example, when we're all trying to watch the videos, like it's hard to hear and like get like points to like go over just because you can't hear you guys talking sometimes. So
yeah, that's not to say what we did is perfect.
Oh, of course not, yeah.
I think I remember our first video. What did we do in first video? It was like we just kind of turned the camera on and just wung it. Like and I think like the past like after that first one, we realized we had to like take like a specific amount of time to plan the video so it sounds good, and that definitely makes a difference. And that might actually be hard to do if you're doing that kind of chat room stuff, or it might be easier. I don't know. It'd be cool to kind of experiment with that kind of stuff.
Exactly. But I mean, besides like those things, we also saw a bunch of positives, throughout like the group members. Everybody was happy with how motivated each other were, and just the fact that they're all invested into the class, just like us, and that helped them get a bunch of work done efficiently as well.
I think a big thing that I saw a lot of groups talk about was how like watching other groups' videos gave like a unique perspective, or like a different perspective, and so it helped them, whether it was the chapter reviews, whether it was the group vlogs just in like the midterms or whatever. I think it was good to see that. I know a lot of groups said that they really benefited, and we definitely did too, because our first chapter review was 5 minutes long. And I mean, I credit that to us being the second group that went, and we didn't really know what we were doing and like what the standard was. But I was talking to Professor Gower, and she said, yeah, it needs to be longer. And we were able to watch some more groups and kind of go, oh, okay, this is a better way to do it. And so like collaboration was good.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like. I mean, Canvas is nice for that. Everyone posts their discussions, so if you kind of need a baseline kind of rubric for what we want to do, a lot of times it's whoever is that first one to post a video, and maybe we go off that or take some things from it, or maybe we don't like it at all and we want to do something different. But that definitely helped a lot.
Yeah, and even if we're all in different groups, it's kind of we're all in this together type of thing. We're all in the same course. There's other people that I knew outside of our group, and kind of talked to them about what they're doing. So it kind of gave us some ideas to see.
Yeah, you were good with that.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, that helped. I guess that brings in like kind of the last like point is like it's important to be proactive, and I think kind of going off that, like we're all a team in this group, and as a class, like making deadlines is really important, especially for an online class that has like chapter reviews and like things that we have to reflect on, because sometimes when groups didn't turn in their stuff, we couldn't review them, and it makes it harder for everyone. So I think that we all got together and like really focused on making our deadlines. I mean, I think we did well.
Oh yeah, I think
we did a good job. Especially it being an online course, it's easy to forget.
Yeah.
Especially when we got games, we're traveling or somewhere, it's easy to forget about an online class just because you don't go to class.
And that's why it was good that we had like our team roles set out, so we actually knew when to meet these deadlines and all that. So I think we all did well on that as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the fact that we were able to meet some deadlines, and even now, like kind of doing a video like earlier gives us time to like plan for it and like troubleshoot if anything goes wrong.
Right.
For example, the community service, like we were able to like figure it out and kind of quickly because communicated well, and we set like deadlines for ourselves. So
yeah, and then once again, it's just to rehash it. It was cool to see a lot of the other groups go through kind of the same process as we did, whether it comes to making their videos or their community service. A lot of the groups kind of took the same approach, and it was cool to see, I guess. I know just from watching the video, like, I guess the Energizer Bunnies come to mind for me. They seem to enjoy making their videos.
yeah.
So that was kind of cool to see. I guess they might be friends now. We don't really talk to any of the other groups. We just see what they post. That was just an observation we made.
Yeah, I think we've all gotten closer because of this. I mean, going off our takeaways from last time, I think we all like have enjoyed the class, gotten closer in our group, and learned a lot of things about management along the way. And so I think that the real life implications that a lot of groups talked about coupled with just the lessons from the chapters and things like that, really made it a fun class in my book. You guys have any final thoughts?
Just a great semester. I'm glad that you did a great job. Very efficient.
Yeah, good semester. Shout out to the other groups for getting all their videos in and allowing us to, look at them, review them, and hope you guys had as good a time as we did.
Good luck on your finals, by the way.
Yeah, good luck on finals, everyone, if anyone's watching.
All right.
Good job, guys.
Steve's like, you gotta just fucking